attractions. You've got the sentencing remarks in your pack. What was not appreciated by those doing the job was that out there amongst the track, quite a distant part of the track, not very easily visible from the cab, was, I'm sure you know the facts as well as I do probably, was an unmanned, on its own train, which just hadn't made it round. There were no criticisms by the prosecution of the individual actions of the staff, because they, with no system, did what they thought was right. And they missed the train, there was no double checking of things that should have been double checked, there was no requirement to. You get the picture. So the judge said, well, you've done nothing, so your culpability is very high. The harm was agreed as level A. Remember, that's death or injury which removes your capacity for an ordinary life. You are dependent on others for basic needs. That was accepted. Likelihood of harm arising, there was a contest there. I was prosecuting, we said it was high, and the defence argued low or medium. The judge said high after the debate, and fixed the fine at 7.5 reduced to 5. Now, some people thought that was relatively low. I'm not saying I did. My views are irrelevant, but a number of people said, oh, we thought it might be higher. One of the reasons it went to that level was that, on behalf of the prosecution, I was able to say to the court that the HSE had never experienced such a level of cooperation before.
I want to start, if I may, with a Travis Perkins case, because we've all been wrestling with the new guidelines, and we've been a year now to see how they have bedded down. We were so used to fines of, up to 100,000, above 100,000 you were looking at manslaughter cases, and now we're talking fines in the millions. The case really turned on the fact of lack of supervision, and how many of these cases involving large companies where there are very good systems of work, safe systems of work, good risk assessments and so on, is there a lack of monitoring at the local yard? And this is a company that puts high value on training and health and safety training specifically. The prosecution accept that, and at the time of their accident there were perfectly appropriate training systems. The failure here was implementation at a local level. Having dealt with everything, put us in medium culpability but high risk of harm, which sounds strange, but because of the number of times the CCTV, which showed the number of reversing incidents without banksman, one can understand that. And starting point 3 million, reduced with a third to £2 million. And at the end of the day, we felt that, given the size of the company, that it wasn't a bad result.
There isn't any real guidance on what is a VLO. Even if you are a very large organisation, the guideline does not state that you must be treated as a very large organisation. It says if it's necessary to do so, and there's a necessity test, you can be treated as a VLO and go outside the bracket. So there is scope to argue, even as a VLO, that you do not deserve to be treated or to be taken outside of the sensing range of a large organisation. Now, it may be that if we get more and more cases in the Court of Appeal, that your ability to mount that argument becomes narrower. Because, of course, the principles of sentencing include deterrence, include this idea of driving it home to the shareholders. A few examples of an environmental context for VLOs: so the Thames Water, over £1 million. Yorkshire Water, fined £1.1 million. Southern Water, which is the most recent one, £2 million. This is the third time that Southern Water had been in Canterbury Crown Court before the same judge being sentenced for environmental offences. And so it went 250, 500, 2 million. It's one of those cases where the Court of Appeal said we would have no hesitation upholding a fine that would have been significantly greater than £200,000. And of course that then emboldened the judge on the next occasion to go to £500,000, and on this particular occasion, a negligent Cat 1, to go to £2 million on a plea, so reduced down from £3 million. Of course, historically, in an environmental context, that's absolutely unheard of. But it is a sign of the way things are at the moment.